afternoon. Got it free with my vaccination. There. Take this with you, please. No, don't put it there. I know exactly how much is there. I know how much is there. Sorry. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What a time we've had. What a time we've had over the last 12 months. Horrendous, awful. These are some of the words that come to my mind at least. And often some Latin words that you wouldn't understand. Enormous changes in attitude and priorities have been undertaken by everyone in the nation because of the serious threat the pandemic has caused us and the exaggerated threat that we've added to it, which is, I think, equal, if not more important. And so I'm going to, this speech today I'm giving, impromptu as it is, I only announced it 15 minutes ago, and it's called The Libertarian in Me, because there have been lots and lots of accusations that the libertarian within me has dissolved like a tooth put in my can of Coke. Okay? Gone. One crisis, gone. And I'm here to prove those people entirely correct. The libertarian within me was far, far weaker than I ever thought. But we must be happy, because it's given us opportunity to learn about myself. I'm sure you too. All of us have learned something from dealing with this crisis. You could say it's been a useful tool. Now that might sound morbid, considering how many people have died, quite often unnecessarily. And, to be perfectly honest, even though people have died, what we have done is realize in this nation that we are weak. We're very weak, and we are deeply, deeply frightened. And I think that's an important realization to have. Disastrous, as it may seem. There's a silver lining there. You know what the silver lining is? I'll explain. The silver lining is we must embrace the things we've learned during this pandemic, this COVID-19 charade, kerfuffle. Try and separate the truth from the balderdash. Okay? There's an economic mire. We're heading into it now. There's no doubt about it. We've got to fall flat on our face. Our blonde wigs might come off. We are falling into this. We're going down, okay? The only way we've got any chance of fighting it is to listen to the problem solvers of the world. Now, who am I talking about? The ingenious scientists, the industrious bankers, and the slithering politicians. These are the tripartite, the three pillars of response to this. And we have to trust these individuals, because the problems that we are facing, ladies and gentlemen, are far beyond average minds. That's a real shame. It is a shame. But we don't listen to those who really know their stuff, Chris Whitty and Valance, and the one with the glasses who wants to sell you a CD. Yeah, all of them, they know this. They've been to school, they've got certificates. And those certificates show that they know more than you and me. Well, maybe not more than me, but they know more than you. Okay? This is the way we can get around this. Now, I've helped this nation realize it had terrible fear. But it really will have something to fear if we start ignoring the specialists. Now, of course, unfortunately, there have been a roaming band of lunatics and misfits that are spouting nonsense contrary to government advice. Now, I don't think this should be allowed. In fact, the libertarian in me is nowhere to be seen on this point, and I'm very proud of it. So, traditionally, what is a libertarian? Well, traditionally, a libertarian advocates for civil liberties, minimal state interference in free markets, and in the private lives of citizens. And to be perfectly honest, that private lives is probably the most important thing there. It's once you're not involved in the private lives, you're a libertarian. If you believe in getting involved in private lives, you're an authoritarian. Okay? There's sort of the dichotomy there. Now, being liberal and embracing freedom is important. I used to think it's completely important. But what about keeping people safe? Hey? What about making people nice to each other? This is what I've realized recently. The pandemic has shown me that ever-binding unity is something we need in this country and in this world to face issues and crises similar to the one we just faced with COVID-19. Okay, that would seem contrary to my libertarian tendencies, but I must say, my libertarian tendencies left about a year ago, and I haven't had so much of a postcard from them since. Completely gone. And generally, I'd say as a nation, we are safer when we tell you what you can do, wear, act, and think. The rest of it is entirely up to you. Do, wear, act, and think. That's all we got to tell. All we should have the authority over is what you do, wear, act, and think. But the rest of it, complete freedom should reign. This is what I think. Now, we had a vote recently, didn't we? We had a vote recently in Parliament. You probably saw it last night. Very flamboyant affair. Now, we wanted to extend the COVID, the overarching government powers for COVID response. And we won, of course, easily. But there were a few notable dissenters to the vote. One of them being Jeremy Corbyn. Would you believe it? Jeremy Corbyn, citing reasons of, Jeremy, citing reasons of human rights and civil liberties and discrimination. So it would seem, ladies and gentlemen, that the libertarian in me has sought residence in the head of Jeremy Corbyn, which seems ironic considering we all thought he was a loony lefty. It seems that I'm even more loony lefty and utterly corrupt, some would say. Now, my urge for tight government controls, which already seems completely contrary to my earlier libertarian beliefs, only tightens, ladies and gentlemen, only tightens when I hear ludicrous and absurd reaction and response and resistance to my desire to have by proxy mandated vaccines. By proxy, because I will prevent you doing anything or go anywhere until we can get the actual needle in you. I want to get that needle in you, to be perfectly honest. And I used to think that all other political philosophies, except for libertarianism, were inferior. But, unlike Perseus, I stared into Medusa's face and did not turn to stone. Instead, I grew as a person. How did I grow? Because I allowed the other elements of my character, the authoritarian, namely, to grow in line with the other aspects of myself. And to be perfectly honest, the libertarian within me took a wrong turn in the alleys of my mind and got customarily curb stomped by an authoritarian gang. But it happens. And that being said, I've really quite enjoyed using my prime ministerial pulpit to authorize behaviour that can go on and can't go on. I have to admit, I didn't think I would, but I have enjoyed it. And I'm going to enjoy this moment. Now, I'm going to tell you when and how you can have your previously basic freedoms back. Because obviously, we've taken them, and now I'm going to give them back to you. So, it completely recalibrates and reconfigures the nature of freedom between societies governed and the government. But we've done it underhand, almost like symbolically, so you can't see. Which is quite impressive, really. We're going to be doing that, and if I'm being perfectly honest, the libertarian within me is currently in a prison shower, dominated by authoritarians, and has just offered to pick up the soap, if you know what I mean. Okay? Not good. So, we're going to be offering a 12-stage, staggered approach to ending lockdown. And we're going to be releasing you weekly, one star sign at a time. Okay? I saw something on YouTube and it seemed like a good idea. Okay? So, we're going to start with the most obedient to the least obedient. Makes sense, doesn't it? So we're going all the way from Taurus to Leo. Pardon? What am I? That's right. From Gemini to Leo. And I don't really want the Leos released at all. Because if you look back through history, it's the Leos that actually lead rebellions against government control. So I think I'm going to have 11 weeks of releasing everyone up to Sagittarius. And then I'll do another lockdown. We're going to keep those Leos behind bars. Now, if you went to the zoo, would you expect the lions to be walking around? No. You keep them behind bars, safely. And that's what we're going to do. I think that's... Any responsible Prime Minister would not let Leos walk around amongst the normal Librans and the Aquarians and Geminis, for Christ's sake. I mean, we're a soft, supple bunch. I might be svelte now, but I'm supple. I'm not going to have some crazy freedom-based Leo sink his teeth into me. Okay? So, anyway. And, last thing, to finish up, I would like to clear up the allegations that I slept with that woman. Now, you know which one, it's been a number, but you know the one I'm talking about, the one that's been in the paper recently. Okay? I categorically deny having an affair with that woman. We did have a little bit of rumpy-pumpy. Certainly some rumpy, I'm not sure how much pumpy was going on. But we had some. But it's not an affair. She didn't enjoy it. I'm sure she didn't enjoy it. It's not a fair, is it? Did I enjoy it? No. She didn't enjoy it. And a fair requires emotional contact, and I had none towards her at all. I can prove that. I was having an affair with somebody else whilst having an affair with her. There's no way I could have been emotionally involved, okay? So, hope that clears things up. It would seem that the libertarian within me is revitalized when it comes to infidelity, which is obviously, you've got to have some part of liberalism back. Libertarian is still alive, but normally only when it comes to messing around with other people's wives and girlfriends. And obviously, on the back of a serious relationship I'm having. But you've got to add, it's like licorice all sorts. You know, things go on in life, and I enjoy most of them, especially the ones that are slightly naughty. Anyway, I've prattled on enough. I think I've explained myself. I think I've cleared things up. So I just want you to say, remember, stay frightened, do as you're told, shut your face, and save lives. Where's my Coke?